bit of reverb on that, bang bang, and all that. Okay, so
was that from Reacher?
No. That was actually just a typical night on Chris's street.
No, dude, that's far too tame for my street.
So there's no denying, everybody, we may be living in the streaming age, but plenty of us are of a particular breed of old dog, aren't we? And all our old habits, they die especially hard. We still hunger, don't we, for our movies and our TV in the ways which we've loved since our childhoods there. We would sit in front of the television, cross-legged, waiting as the sort of interference cleared. But in time, things moved on, and we started to build our habits and feed our addiction for movies and TV and television shows, that the television wouldn't show us anymore. And one thing led to another, and before you know it, it's all consuming, I suppose, and you've lost entire walls of your own home to physical media fever from the newest, sexiest editions of the classics we've always loved to the latest releases looking just like they do at the multiplex. Whichever region you are in, there's always plenty to get into a state about here at our physical media night. Okay, the play button has been hit once again. We're here, magically transported to our realm, our domain, festooned with physical media of all flavors, all regions, and all formats. Ian, you're going to love this, mate. You're going to love it. So we keep track of which region we are in and whichever state we could get into over the next however long. So I've been perusing the shelves, as always. At HMV, I've been descending on the car boot sales in because it's car boot season once again. So there's lots and lots to talk about. And just like any must-have, we are loaded, positively loaded with special features. And by special features, I mean this lot. We've got the Rabbi from another planet here in 7.0 Dolby Atmos, aren't you, Rabbi?
Yes, they don't come more special than me, but I'm more of an Easter egg, right? Or what's the opposite of Easter egg? When you open up something and it's got like a bag and you think, oh, and there's a piece of human excrement in it. What's that called?
Shit show.
Oh, shit.
That's how I would describe me if I was a DVD extra.
Over the other side of the Rabbi, we have 00 Gary 07 here.
Yeah, I'm the Betamax of this show.
Rabbi's
the Ultra HD 4K. I'm the Betamax.
Why do they keep saying that? Beta. It's beta. Betamax. What is wrong with you, Americans?
Aluminium. Who knows, baby?
It's a university. I think it's a university thing. Aspect ratio assassin and horror aficionado. He may look like a Care Bear this time, but it's still the mighty Bolstrek, aka Chris, back on deck.
Hello.
Good to have you all here with us yet again, and our special guest this time back with us to talk about, well, whatever and wherever we go. It's the mega geek himself, Ian David Diaz, everybody. Yes. Hey! Hello. In fact, let's give him one of these. Here we are. Good to see you, Ian. How have you been, mate? What's going on with you?
I've been all right. I've just been working my ass off trying to pay my rent and stuff, and nothing's really happened. It's just that, really. So editing. I went to see a film, but whatever.
What did you see?
I went to see Michael. There he is. And I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it now, or should I talk about it?
Tell us your first.
I can't. Before you tell me about it, what drove you to see this? I would rather put my finger up my ass. This looks awful.
Okay,
I didn't like him in real life.
Everyone wants to stick something up his ass. I don't know what this is.
Okay, right. My mum is a huge fan of biopics. So she loved the Queen. She didn't like the Elton John one, but she loved the Queen. She loved Ray. She liked Walk the Line. And she freaking loved this film. She loved this film. Yeah.
I don't get it.
Who was the director, Ian?
Fuqua, whatever his name is, the guy did he not do the Equalizer films? Was it him?
That's right.
Oh, they're quite good. They're quite good.
Yeah.
He's made this movie has great pedigree. So it's the director of the Equalizer movies and various other great thrillers. The writer is John Logan, who wrote. I think he wrote Walk the Line.
No, he's good. He's been around Hollywood for
he's written for James Bond. So this guy, everybody attached to this has pedigree.
Wait, was that the guy that John Logan? Was that the guy that wrote Star Trek Nemesis?
I can't remember that far back.
Logan may have been his last or first name. I can't remember.
Sorry to interrupt.
But you mentioned Bohemian Rhapsody a moment ago, and it's produced by the same setup.
It is. But also, right, if you've seen Bohemian Rhapsody, you have that scene with the guy who plays Austin Powers. Can't remember that. Myers.
Michael Myers.
And Mike Myers is in this too, doing the same thing. Yeah.
The same guy.
No, he's not playing the same guy, but he's playing another producer in this, which is quite amusing. It's a very
he does look like every record producer ever, in all fairness. Right? I bet this looks gorgeous because those Equalizer movies look cool.
Right, so I'm going to tell you what I
looked at the trailer before. The trailer looks spectacular, Ian. But then again, trailers are meant to look spectacular because they're supposed to sell you on the movie, aren't they? And Jafar Jackson, he's even though he's part of that dynasty, is Jermaine Jackson's son. He obviously feels the part. He can certainly move like him, even though he's never acted before that I'm aware of. So it's one of those where I love a music biopic as well, but I've seen so many bad ones. And just because somebody made a good one before, it doesn't mean that this one's going to be good, does it?
Well, I could tell you, right, there was a scene in this film, and my mum, while she was she leant to me and she said, "Is this? Did they make this before he died?" I'm like, "No, Mum, it's an actor. It's not him." There were some shots. There were some shots where he really did look like Michael Jackson. And so let me tell you about the positive things about this movie. One is him. He did a fantastic job. The guy never acted before ever, right, in his life. And he really did embody Michael Jackson. Fantastic. I mean, there was some shots you just thought it was Michael Jackson. It was he gave a really great performance. That's one of the positives about this film. Also, the little kid that played little Michael Jackson, he's amazing too. His performance was really, really. There was one scene in it that really made me squirm because it's happened to me as well. People from Jamaica and Nigeria and the West Indies, that's the way they brought up their kids, with the belt. So there was that one scene where the father beats Michael Jackson when he's like really young, and it was very uncomfortable for me because it's actually happened. My dad used to, obviously do that to me because that's the way they used to bring up their kids and stuff like that. So there's one scene in it that you can actually see that happen. But another positive thing is all the stuff with the music is absolutely amazing. People were loving it. I was in there. I was in the first screening, but there were a few people in there and they were loving the music. The way they recreated some of the scenes of Michael Jackson was superb. The guy, the way he does the dance, just like Michael Jackson. I was told he spent 2 years, learning how to dance like him and stuff like that. All those scenes are pretty amazing. The negative part of this film is that they don't delve into who he really was. The controversy, and I hear the reason why they didn't, because there was some kind of law that they couldn't do it, to do with the first person that accused him of kiddie fiddling.
They had to. Apparently, the last third of the film had to be completely reshot in because of the involvement of somebody who was part of a court case where there'd been a settlement made quite recently. Again, with the Jackson family or the record label, so it was quite it was a recent thing rather than a historical thing. But I've never read up on it.
But so what they did is they changed it to Michael Jackson versus his dad. So that is the main story in this, and it also says at the end of the film, it says his story continues. And I've been told by Dan that there's going to be a sequel next year to the rest of the story. Lord knows whether they'll. I
was under the impression, I was told by one person that they'd already made the sequel, and apparently that's not true. But they have filmed some of the footage that they cut to remake it has been saved for a sequel. So a script exists for a part 2, I would. I can't really imagine how that's going to happen, given the fact that this is also authorized by the family. But apparently, a script exists in some form. Material is being moved over into a second film. But yeah, the intention was to make two halves of this. This is already listed.
Can I bring up a question? Do you think he was a paedophile or not? Because I actually don't think he was.
We can't really talk about that.
So it's your opinion.
Okay,
it's not like it's something that people don't talk about. Like what? Okay, right. I don't think it was.
Okay, right. So what you have to do, right, is like there's been a lot of critics that slammed this film, but me personally, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun, right? And it's a movie first and foremost, and they did muck around with history in the film to make it more of a movie, right? But if you're look, all of us grew up with Michael Jackson, all of us, right here on the panel. And I love his music, and his music was absolutely great. Obviously, being a man of color, it meant a little bit more to us. And I'm not being racist here. It meant a lot more to people of color than it did to, other people. But what I'm saying is that
love Mel Brooks.
That's
that. It's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing.
Exactly. Right. So all I'm saying is that if you want a good time, go and see this film. And if you like Michael Jackson's music, you'd really like it. Don't listen to the critics. I don't know why they're trashing it. Look, they can't. The critics want to see what they want to see, right?
Yeah, they want exactly. They're not judging what they put on the screen. They're judging what they want.
Exactly. Yeah. It's basically shown you the high points of Michael Jackson from when he started to bad. That's what it's doing. And I can only speak for myself. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the film. It was a lot of fun, right? And I don't know whether to believe everything in that film because I know the history about where he got bubbles. That didn't happen in real life. But anyway, I'll stop there. I will recommend this film if you're a Michael Jackson fan.
So did they not go into a lot of the Jackson 5 stuff, Ian? They mostly just concentrate on
They do. And but the thing is, the story concentrates more on the father. That's actually, because when he wanted to break off, the father didn't want him to break off, and he was trying to keep him, and he was trying to make it Jackson 5 again. That's why Michael Jackson, after Thriller, went on tour with his brothers, because his dad bullied him to go on tour with his brothers again.
Because
in one of the
contents, you often find, don't you, Ian, that most biopics revolve around one central relationship, whether it's the one that Serena Williams had with her father, or it could be the one that Johnny Cash had with June. The people who change people's lives just set them on a trajectory. So it does make more sense, I suppose, that it would be anchored with Joe Jackson, the late Joe Jackson.
Look at it this way, right? It's a celebration of what he did in the world before he died, right? Or up to bad, obviously.
Honestly, I think that's fair enough. I mean, they've got to go in there saying it like that.
That's what Bohemian Rhapsody was really.
Yes, exactly.
It wasn't a jukebox musical as such, but it was an old-fashioned biopic, the kind they used to make in the 50s and the 60s, which spoke of stars with a kind of luster and in an elevated way. And is that the whole story? No. But is there a market for that sort of stuff? There absolutely is. This is already listed for physical media, everybody. You can get a steelbook ordered already, even though it's literally just opened in cinemas. But I really wanted to see this, Ian, and I've avoided reviews, but the noise coming off it is deafening, and it does kind of dim your enthusiasm when everybody is sort of going at this for everything that it isn't, whereby I remember the trailers, I remember their pitch for this, and they were very clear the kind of film that it was. So you think, well, if people are going to go and see it in bad faith, then they're going to see something they're not going to like, aren't they? It seems perfectly fine to me. The family have been rather dragged into this. So I've got this clip here of his daughter, Michael Jackson's daughter, Paris Jackson, talking about it here.
I'm going to say this, and then I'll kind of just leave it alone, because it seems like there's been a lot of responses. There's been a lot of responses to the thing that I posted earlier about just clarifying that I wasn't involved at all. aside from like giving feedback on the first draft and then getting the feedback that we're not actually going to address your notes at all. And I was like, all right, like fuck me, So I just like butt it out, and I just like I've left it alone because it's not my project. So they're gonna make whatever they're gonna make. A big reason why I haven't said anything up until this point is because I know a lot of you guys are gonna be happy with it. Like a big section. The film panders to a very specific section of my dad's fandom that still lives in the fantasy, and they're gonna be happy with it. Just like
wow.
Like I remember hearing about how Freddie Mercury's family responded to seeing the Bohemian Rhapsody film, right? And I remember like reading the Dirt autobiography as a kid, and then growing up and like watching the movie they ended up making starring like MGK, and I was like, okay. The thing about these biopics is it's Hollywood, so it's fantasy land. It's not real, but it's sold to you as real, and a lot of sugar-coated, like the narrative is being controlled, and there's a lot of inaccuracy, and there's a lot of just full-blown lies. And at the end of the day, like that doesn't really fly with me. I don't really like dishonesty. I spoke up. I wasn't heard. I fucked off. That's it. Y'all are gonna like the fucking movie, so just go watch it, go enjoy it, do whatever, leave me out of it.
What is she complaining about? What does she want? Right? Does she want them to pull up the controversy that was connected to Michael Jackson? And she's absolutely right. It's exactly what she wanted. But why? That was her dad. Why would you want to bring that stuff up? But also, it's a movie. Real. Well, the thing is, no movie is real. It's a movie. Right?
I know. Did you ever see that? What's that show on HBO about the hitman? What's it called again? Yeah. It was a one syllable male name, Ted or Bill or so. I can't remember what it was, but it was a hitman. Anyway, so he's in Hollywood, right? What?
Barry,
right? So he's in Hollywood. So you ever saw the season finale? At the end you see the movie version they made of his story.
Yeah.
Right. And you see, and that's what she's reacting to. It's like totally like foreign to her.
But the thing is, though, it's a movie. You can't. There's no way you're going to. Obviously, you got the family on one side. Exactly. But what does she want? She's never said what she wants. Oh, you're going to see the glamorized version of Michael Jackson. That was never in doubt because it's a movie. But what does she want in the movie?
The reality of it is disturbing, I think, to her.
Yeah, I don't think she wanted all that into it. What does she want? What did she want in the movie?
She wanted to see something that wasn't a total lie. Right?
No,
which is fine. I think she deserve to want that. She's not going to get that.
She seems to be. I think. Well, the impression I get is that the woman has been deluged with people asking her opinion about it on social media and through her own platforms, and so she's been. This isn't something that she's offered of her own sort of volition. This is a response to lots of people saying, "Well, why haven't they included this? Why haven't they done this? And why haven't they done that?"
Yeah,
and kind of blaming her. For them not exploring the other side to Jackson's life, any kind of allegations that were made against him, and that more I won't even say kooky, troubling side to his life, the more distressing things that happened around him, not necessarily committed by Jackson himself. And I think what she's saying is that this is the deliberately concocted confection and that there's nothing actually wrong with that. And so but she says to go and watch it, go enjoy it. This is for the masses. I think that she, broadly speaking, I actually think she agrees with you, Ian. But it just goes to show that what I was saying earlier on, the noise being made around it, I agree. What did people want? Did they want this person dragged down? Because Jackson's been dead for 17 years. And there are lots of things said about it. The issue about the allegations made against him is far too complicated and too nuanced to go into on here. We'd be here all night talking about it. But the way that the media kind of frames it and represents it, Ian, I was wondering how you in particular would respond to a movie like this, because I know you're not easily won over by confection, by sensation.
There's one thing that's not in the movie. That's Janet Jackson. They even omitted her from the family. You never see Janet Jackson in the family at all. So she's not in the film at all because, she had a great, a great career. and she was one of the members of the family that took off more so than the rest.
I love
of them.
Janet Jackson.
Yeah. So she's not in the movie at all. You don't even see her as a little kid. They didn't even talk about her at all.
Wow.
So Latoya is in it though.
She must have denied access, like denied the use of social media.
Probably.
I think it.
But, yeah, go ahead, mate. Go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I think that if they cut it off with Bad, which is 1987, I think that says a lot as well. If the focus is, and it does seem to be on how the public. I haven't seen it, but this is just what I think the portrayal was. The idea was to portray this as to how the public saw Michael Jackson with the in-story of his father. And if you are going to cut off somewhere around the Bad album, when Bad came out, other than, weird rumors about his monkey and his hyperbaric chamber, which were around back then, the public hadn't heard about the really salacious stuff. So if you're going to cut it off in 87, that's really the only way you're going to avoid talking about the things that I shall not mention by name.
Well, there's also the plastic surgery as well.
They could, well, they highlighted that. They definitely highlighted that. He said he wanted his face symmetrical, so that's why he went for. He didn't like his nose, whatever. So they highlighted that, but not too much though. That's the thing, they didn't, because when it got to Bad, he still had maintained most of his face, right, as I recall.
Yeah,
but when so that's what I'm saying. They stopped right there. But as I said, what do people expect? Because the film isn't what you wanted it to be, does it mean it's less entertaining than it is?
Exactly.
No.
I really hate that, right? Accept it for what it is.
Is this a long movie, Ian? Like
no,
2
it's not.
3/4 hours?
No, it's not. It's not. The thing is, though, when people don't get what they want, they focus on the negative side more so. And the thing about criticism is that it spreads like a cancer. So if you admire Barry Norman, and Barry Norman says, do you know what, Michael was absolute shit, then that would be on your mind, and it either stop you from going or go in there with that train of thought, and then it would cloud what you're watching. So I didn't read anything about Michael at all. I didn't see any reviews. I went in there cold, and I enjoyed it.
That's the best way to go see any movie.
Yeah,
I've really tried. I haven't read or watched any reviews. You know me, I always stay away from them. If I know I'm going to see something, and I really wanted to see this theatrically because of the spectacle and the songs and the dancing and all that kind of thing, I wanted to see this at the cinema. And yet, even though I haven't taken in any of those things, it's pierced me anyway, to the point that it's really taken the air out of the balloon for me. And that's a shame. I genuinely love Michael Jackson. And I'm fascinated by this story. And the reason why I wanted to ask you about it as well is because my physical media journey sort of started with Michael Jackson, not with any sort of British sci-fi TV show, for example. It started with Michael Jackson and this VHS tape, making Michael Jackson's Thriller. So this was the very first piece of physical media that we ever bought as a family was this cassette, and it lasts about an hour. It's directed by John Landis, as the music video was, and because it was the only videotape we had for years as well, for a good couple of years. Myself and my brother, we watched the hell out of this. We know even now know every single moment of this. It's kind of seminal for me.
Do you remember when they were going to screen it? Right, and everybody's. I can't remember what time they screened it. Everybody stayed up,
and then they
stayed up to watch it, and that's how big he was. He was enormous. He was. Everybody knew Michael Jackson. Everybody tried to be like Michael Jackson. It's really strange how someone like him brought dance back into the zeitgeist. The way he danced, the way he moved. You look at it now and you think, why is he pointing at his crutch? But nobody thought anything about it in those days. Everybody thought he was just amazing. But as I said, the film is entertaining. It's a good reason to see it. If you just forget about what the critics say, I recommend it. It's up to you guys anyway if you want to see it or not. It's worth seeing in the theater.
Well, the one thing that kind of fascinates me about Michael Jackson is there really is two completely different stories here, and time frame makes the difference as well. But there's the story of how he became, probably even to this day, the biggest entertainment figure in history. I don't think anybody has ever come close. But then there's the second part of the story, to where, and this is, we also all witnessed this in real time, as of to how he went from being the biggest thing on earth, really, to just completely falling from grace. You know, that's why I personally, I'd like to see a second movie that picks up from '87, because the last of his heights, I would say, was when Dangerous came out in 1991. He was still the king of everything. But from that tour on down, it's just a steady stream downwards, where the allegations, which we will not mention of what they are by name, but those come out in 93. That tarnished his image. By the time History came out, that's when the plastic surgery really had started to work against him. Like he didn't even look human by that point, and there was the drama going on afterwards. There was Invincible, which I think, in terms of production cost, is still the biggest flop in music history, followed by that 2003 documentary, the 2-part Living with Michael Jackson, which in some ways is kind of like a horror movie. Which is why, honestly, it's why I've gone back and forth as to whether or not he did those things. Literally, my answer is I don't know. But then there's just the fall from grace after that, and just the way he died.
Before he died, he was normalized for a few years. Like before he died, for about 5 years, he was normal. It was like he had
he dropped out of the limelight. Right. After Invincible flopped, and it's not a good album, and after 2003, that's when he vanished. He was the story of 2009, when also he was in severe financial trouble, that comeback tour, and how it was actually preparing for that tour that pretty much killed them, because that's why he was drugged to the hilt, because his body just couldn't take it anymore. One of the reasons.
I did wonder. One of the things they do feature is the Pepsi thing that happened to him.
Oh, the hair thing, yeah.
Because that was the big turning point, wasn't it? It was that accident and being hit in the head by a giant fireball. It's going to knock you about a bit, and that's what got him downhill on that path. Yeah, over prescribing, over self-medicating painkillers.
Wasn't it? That he got addicted to.
They don't mention that in the film, so
yeah. But I think it's documented. Yeah, that's when his drug problem started, with painkillers after that, and that was 1984, I believe. And then literally, like, physically, that he started to go literally deteriorate in 1984 until, eventually that caused his death in 2009. There's a very, very tragic story to Michael Jackson, and I find that almost as interesting, perhaps even more interesting, than the rise itself, where how can you go from those heights to everything just going so wrong? And it's such a complex story. I think his father had a lot to do with it, because the guy was a monster.
Several of the later albums, you're quite right, Invincible is unlistenable.
It's
On the Dance Floor isn't much better, and the latter album, there was a couple of decent tracks in it, but it wasn't an album in the proper sense of the word. Scott from the Game Closet, who's going to join us on a later show, I believe, says Sony did a great deal to destroy Invincible and to financially ruin him. Yes, and Jackson spoke about that himself during his lifetime. And Matt Potts up this early. Wow. Matt says, hi, Matt. He says, MJ, the selected history. And this is I think you're right.
Yeah, that is it.
All biopics are a selected history, because they have to be, unless you want to do a really long form miniseries. I don't know if you remember, Ian, in the early 90s, Vanessa, what's the soul singer? What's her name? Vanessa Williams. She was in a TV miniseries called The Jacksons in about 1992, 1993. That was about 6 or 7 hours, more on the Jacksons than Michael Jackson. But I thought that was brilliant. I don't know if that's available on physical media at all, Gary.
It isn't, although it is available on the YouTubes. A few people have uploaded it. Yeah, it was The Jacksons: An American Dream. It is actually. I was actually going to ask Ian if you'd seen that and how this compares to that movie.
I have seen it. The thing is, though, obviously that was how many episodes? 7 or 8? I can't remember.
92. I think it was like 6 hours long.
It was fascinating, and it wasn't focusing on little Michael Jackson at the time. Sorry, it was just focused on the actual family itself. But in this film, obviously, they've only got a certain amount of time to feature him when he was, I don't know, 8 or whatever. There's this bit in it where, and a spoiler, right? Bit in it where one of the managers says to him, "If they ask you the question how old you are, then tell them you're 8." But he was really 12 or something like that, or 13.
Oh, yeah.
So he had to lie about his age in press conferences and stuff like that to keep the thing going that he was quite young and stuff like that. But as I said, right, if you're expecting certain things and it's not in the film, doesn't mean to say you have to dislike it. You just have to enjoy it for what it is. And his daughter going on about you're going to enjoy it. Yes, you are going to enjoy it. But what did you expect? Do you know what I mean? Every biopic is like this, you know. They always pick the points that actually celebrates them. You know, this is no different. Do you know what I mean? What else can you do?
They have to choose their angle because they've got 2 hour stops basically, whereas in a mini series they explore far more. I think that's just to accept it sort of really. I might really, but I'd still like to see it in the cinema. Ian.
Yeah, but I hear the Beatles is going to be 4 movies.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like 4 movies. Is anyone going to be interested in the 4th one? Someone big. Sam Mendes
is the director of all 4
really?
films.
Well, the James Bond guy. He did a couple of James Bond movies.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yes.
Actually, I would be interested in seeing that, and actually in my head, I can kind of see how they could break the Beatles story into 4 movies.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you have the early 60s era, then you have the psychedelic era, then you have the breakup era, and then you have take it up to John Lennon's death, essentially.
The Fab Four. The Fab Four. Well, not that 4, not the Fab 4.
I'd watch 8 hours of that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really excited about the Beatles movies. I'm a big Beatles fan. And I don't know how Mendes is going to sort of weave it in. I think it'll be similar to what you're describing, Chris. I think because, as you say, different phases of the Beatles kind of had their origins with each of the 4 members to some degree. So the potential there for a big Beatles sort of long-running series. I think he plans on releasing them. I was going to say 1 a year, but I actually think they're coming out once every 6 months because they're all the aim is to finish them around the same time, Rabbi. So it won't lose the momentum. So I'll be fascinated to see where it goes. But I'm glad you told us about
the first one. Because the first one should end with Hard Day's Night, right? There should be that story up to Hard Day's Night. Second one should end with Revolver. Third one will be like Sergeant Pepper, and the last one will be like Let It Be in the aftermath.
Basically, the fourth one will be Everything Falls Apart.
Well, the thing is, everybody thinks that they had arguments and stuff like that. But I was watching an interview with Paul McCartney recently. It was a recent one, and he said they didn't fall apart. They just felt that they've come to a point where they can't go anymore. And everybody had lives as well. Some of them, were married, had kids. Yeah. So it was just natural that they kind of drifted apart because they've reached a point where they just can't go anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, they never intended either on we'll never work together again.
Yeah.
They just felt that phase of it was done. And there were arguments, but again, without getting too deep into this, I could talk about the Beatles for hours. They'd always argued. Always argued because they were sort of a family. McCartney had known George Harrison since George Harrison was 13 years old. They'd always argued, and there was differences between each of them. It'll be a fascinating story.
It's going to be interesting to see what the how it's structured. I mean, if it's going to be like straight chronological, or if it's going to be like a flashback, it takes place in the 70s, and they're thinking back.
No, it would. I think it would have to be chronological if you're gonna. If you tried doing that with 4 separate movies, it would just get.
Well, they could do one movie. Each movie centers on a different Beatle.
That could get repetitive, though, by the fourth
each
movie.
film, it's not called, for example, The Beatles 1, The Beatles 2. The films are named after the members. So the first film is called Paul. Second film is called Ringo. So the films are, each component film is named after the person. So like George, the Beatles story. So they're building up like that. It's going to be unlike any project that we've ever seen in the cinema. It's incredibly ambitious for someone like Sam Mendes to commit to for such a long period of time. You have to be a serious Beatles fan. You have to have that kind of Peter Jackson level of commitment that he's had to projects. He's also a big Beatles guy.
I can only see this going one of two ways. Either it's going to be absolutely brilliant, or it's going to be a complete disaster. I don't know. Honestly, no, I don't really see any in between with this. It's going to be one of the two.
Yeah,
because people,
sorry,
that's not necessarily a reflection on the films themselves, but the format. People just might not want to go and see over a 2-year period of a series of 4 films about 4 separate people. They simply might not go for it because it's such a. I don't think it's a groundbreaking method of delivery.
They've got to make that first movie awesome.
Are they doing this with the cooperation of Paul and Ringo?
I would assume so.
Everybody at Apple, it's proper. Official, it's a real official Beatles project in the same way that the Beatles anthology was, and the various different other projects that have come out since. So Sam Mendes was handpicked, I think, for it.
Wow, all right.
But I wouldn't expect it to be a confectionery in the same way that Bohemian Rhapsody was, or by the sounds of it that Michael is. I think its purpose is, I think it's got a different purpose, and the format would seem to mark that out quite clearly. But obviously they'll be able to use Beatles music, which is horrendously expensive.
Doesn't the Jackson estate still own that?
They don't, but
not anymore.
I think Sony own it. So they do have to pay somebody to do it, but it's all quite complicated.
And I assume, Dan, that they won't be using the actors from that one particular episode that we were talking about Thursday.
I'd say not. Yes, so Michael is in cinemas. Michael is in cinemas right now. Ian, thank you for your review.
That's all right.
You've reignited my enthusiasm for it, mate. Thank you, because I had it dented by people who kind of didn't want it in the first place. So I probably will end up going to see this after all. But even so, when it arrives on physical media in this glorious steelbook, this is going to be something a lot of people are going to want come Christmas. So there we are. But of all the places that they'll be able to get it, HMV and the like, they won't be able to get it anymore from JB Hi-Fi. So I wanted to talk about this briefly because this is, Chris, I don't know if you're aware of this. We had Kevin Wrightsell on the show last week, who just got back from a month in Australia with his Australian wife, and he came back to us with nearly 60 films that he'd picked up. And every time he goes out to Australia as a shameless tourist and physical media fan, he comes raving to me in direct messages about, look what I got from JB Hi-Fi. Everybody I know who is either Australian or from the Southern Hemisphere, a collector of any kind who's been there, always raves about JB Hi-Fi and how much physical media they've got in there. But this week, overnight, not anymore. Every single store, apparently, nationwide, and these are big shops. These aren't little corner places. Big stores just cleared out of their physical media. And as I understand it, everybody who follows it in the way that we do, who lives in the Southern Hemisphere, is reeling from this because there had been no signs it was even coming. So has anybody been to a JB Hi-Fi? Have you heard?
Wait, Dan, did they? So just to clarify, that they're not going out of business. They just got rid of physical media.
Just stripped out the physical media.
Wow,
that's happening everywhere. It's in North America. It's actually really depressing. The king of physical media here was Best Buy, and they got rid of physical media in the U.S. a couple of years ago. They still have like just one end cap in the corner in the Canadian stores. It's getting pretty bad with Walmart now, which was like Target in the US doesn't carry them at all anymore. Walmart is getting worse. We have 2 massive super centers locally. One of them renovated a year ago. All they have left is just their new release end cap. They got rid of the rest of the section, which had actually been fairly large. The other superstore in our south end, they're undergoing a renovation right now. they're not even going to have the new release rack. Literally, all they have is just a little box of sale items. So, unfortunately, the physical media, it's going to online only. It's very exclusive. The prices have also in Canada have doubled. Your new release, unless you manage to find it in Walmart, is over $50 now, and that includes Blu-rays.
Wow. And you said last week when we talked about The Housemaid, how you'd pick that up and how you have to really think carefully about which new releases you're gonna take a punt on.
Well, I'm not going to get send help until it goes. Right now, it's only available through Marketplace, and the 4K is $100 right now, and that's not the Steelbook. That's just the standard 4K. So it's what the situation in Australia. It is kind of what's happening here. I'm sure. I know where Gary is. You probably have a few more options, but you're probably seeing it dwindling.
Yeah, the only options here really are like the video sections of like bookseller franchises.
Yeah,
like
we don't even have Barnes and Noble.
Things like that. That's pretty much honestly the only place where you'll see a lot of.
What about Amazon? They have everything.
Well,
there's this is the problem with Amazon and you know, for years, like my monthly physical media haul would have been massive, like 30 to 50 releases. Now it's down to the single digits because most things you can now only get on Amazon. And now that all the competition is dead, within the past 6 months, the prices on Amazon have gotten absolutely ridiculous. Just to kind of track over the past 10 years, just to give you an example, for a standard Blu-ray, the standard selling price was between $20 and $25. $24.99 was pretty much standard for a new release. About 7 years ago, the price went up to $26.99 at most places. Best Buy, Walmart became the regular selling price. Now you are looking at on Amazon roughly about $50 for a new release. And that's the Blu-ray. DVD 4Ks when they first come out are between 50 and 60. You basically have to wait to see if the price drops. You can get it from a marketplace seller, but it is rapidly becoming unaffordable. What I had to laugh when I looked at, like, who's going to pay $50 for Chris Stuckman's crappy movie on Blu-ray? That was just one example. I know that they've gone up a little bit in the US, but I know in Canada the selection and the prices suck.
Chris, we've got Matt Pott in the live chat, a friend of the show, Matt Pott, hopefully a future guest at some point. I didn't think you'd be up this early, Matt. And Gary's asked him, did you go to JB Hi-Fi? And Matt has replied, I still do, Gary.
Okay.
It's selected stores only that this is happening. Now, I was told that this was nationwide. So evidently, this is hysteria, maybe, Matt. So 65 stores Australia-wide have removed physical media out of, did I tell that they'd got about 115 stores. So, it's just over half. So, I was under the impression it was all of them. And certainly the noise that's being made because people are hysterical over this. People are upset over this. So that's good to hear, Matt.
Amazon his next post. This is the most disturbing thing that he said.
Amazon Australia has removed Australian physical media, according to Matt Pott in the live chat.
And that is bad because, unfortunately, Australia, for some reason, has been a harbinger of things to come for physical media. They were the first country that Disney pulled out of, and it's and it has been noticed where physical media, even though Blu-ray sales were up 12% last year just for the Blu-ray format, the other two are still shrinking. But there now seems to be a concerted effort to stamp out physical media for streaming, and I've heard it leak from a few people as to why Best Buy, and this is just alleged, this is just rumored and reported, but I've heard it reported from multiple people now and some who know what they're doing. The reason why Best Buy got rid of physical media in the US stores and trimmed it down to literally two little shelves in their Canadian stores is because the TV manufacturers and the streaming services, because Best Buy is now basically funded by the products it sells, do not want physical media in the stores because it competes against these streaming services. And if you want to know why your TVs are so cheap right now, it's because the streaming services subsidize the cost of the TV to have those streaming services pre-installed. So there is actually no, I don't. This is a concerted effort to literally stamp out physical media, and it's accelerating. Like when I went to the other Walmart, like they were in the middle of their renovation, like they're gutting the thing and rebuilding it. The stores, both our stores are massive. They're the largest format you can get in Canada. So when I went there, they'd moved the home theater section to another section of the store, and I was looking for the new release rack. So I went and asked one of the associates. I'm like, "Have you guys stopped carrying physical media?" I'm like, "Well, we're not carrying the new releases. We've got rid of the rack. The only thing they're going to be sending us here on out is the little clearance sale cardboard boxes, the ones that you'll often find on the floor." So it's and what's going on with Amazon is very weird and not good. And I'm just using the Canadian example, but based on what Matt says, this makes sense. Because I used to go through and pre-order horror movies, and I would just go to Amazon, put in horror Blu-ray. There'd be like 300 different listings, usually decent prices. I go to it now, there might be about 20. They're only from the big retailers. The prices are ridiculous. Most new release 4Ks aren't even listed on Amazon, if at all, until after they're actually released. The prices are ridiculous, and this seems to be across the board. The only places where it seems you can order from are the boutique labels directly. Scream Factory, well, they're not. They're pretty much out of physical media. They're just clearing out the last of the stuff they have rights to. But they sell on Groove. Groove Canada is an absolute joke. The prices are just as bad or worse than Amazon, and you have to pay a shipping charge. So this is me being doom and gloom, which is what I am best at. There's also the issue with the players. Somehow this has turned into a very depressing rant, but I'm just sort of let you know how bad things are. With the players, you still have Sony and Panasonic. Both Sony and Panasonic are selling or spinning off their home theater divisions. Sony is giving the majority of their manufacturing, or 51%, to TCL. And that would include the X700, their 4K player. So I don't know if they're going to bother keeping that. Panasonic is selling off their entire TV division to, I can't remember the name of the country, but they're Chinese. Panasonic is the lead manufacturer. They have 5 different physical media players in circulation right now, which since Christmas have been next to impossible to find. There's rumors as to whether or not they've actually stopped production on them. Best Buy never has physical media in stock. Walmart, or like the actual players, Blu-ray 4K, Walmart no longer has them in stock. They're very difficult to get a hold of from Amazon. So it is looking very doom and gloomy. So who's depressed other than Rabbi? Who's depressed?
Okay, this is how I consume media, right? I bought the last Mission Impossible movie on streaming from Apple. I then downloaded a 4K file of it illegally. I BitTorrented it, and so I can watch it if anything ever goes. And then I watched the movie, and it's fine. I like it. Everything was okay. A couple of points. You can. Why do you go to like the Far East bootlegs? They have everything, don't they?
I'm not buying bootlegs.
Like Kev said last week, he's buying a lot of them. He seems very happy with them. But I have this resistance to them as well.
It really work. That seems like
I am more than capable of making my own bootleg if I want to. I will not buy bootlegs.
All right.
No,
good.
Obviously, the best people to speak on this subject are those that are living in the Southern Hemisphere. They're seeing it happen before their very eyes. According to Matt Pott in the live chat, there are 215 stores, JB Hi-Fi stores in Australia, and it's just selected stores that this is happening in. I would imagine, though, that what tends to happen, Gary, is that more and more, if it's successful, gradually they roll it out. So the best thing you can do is to head over to Matt Pott's YouTube channel there.
That's right.
Several videos on this topic already up. He's very evidently an unhappy former customer there of JB Hi-Fi, or is he? Find out the real story, the full story there with Matt Pott on YouTube. So it could be the end, but it might not be the end. Let's hope they hang in there for folks like us until they get to the other side, because that's kind of what happened with HMV, and everything was almost all right in the end. Let us know what you think in the comments, of course. If you are in Australia or New Zealand or anywhere like that, we want to know what you've got to say about it. What are your experiences, really? Okay, so that's that. Do you want some more?
No.
Yes.
Oh,
yes
hi.
or no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
We do.
Yes. Hit the yes. Hit the yes. Swipe left. Swipe left. Right after a quick blast of this. How's this for a special feature? Check out that range there. It's positively bursting with promise.
Wow.
Okay, so we're back.
I mean, isn't one of those a bloke?
No, that was
No.
from this is
That was
from For Your
Tula.
Eyes. Yeah, this is from For Your Eyes Only. That one was
No, it wasn't. It was this film. It was this
it
film.
was? Okay.
Yeah.
One
But
of them's
she's
a
not
dude,
there.
really.
Yeah,
Thank
she's
heaven
not
for that.
there. She's not in this picture.
I hear the erections going down across the world right now. Like, what?
Oh,
Which
God.
one?
Okay, so a big part of what we do here is comparing notes on the things that have caught our eye, because there's fresh releases, fresh announcements every single week, not just from places like HMV and those big studios, the big retailers, but the boutique labels as well. And sometimes they're films that we've seen before, or bought before. Other times they're movies that we've always wanted to see or never even heard of. Heaven knows that movies are personal, aren't they? One man's classic is another man's absolute stinking turd. But I believe I blind buy now and again, Gary. In fact, I blind buy quite a lot when they're cheap. And so I'm actually all for trying something completely different. And if it's something that a big boutique label somewhere like Arrow Video, we've all been singing their praises now for a really long time on this channel. When somebody like Arrow Video lists anything for a future release, then I think it's right that we pay attention. They must be lavishing this attention on it for a reason. And God bless them, they've announced their titles for July 2026, just a couple of days before we were due to go live. So we thought we'd get right back to the coalface with this and see what's coming in July. So I love the fact that they put all of this out on all their social media channels with these attractive slides, and they sort of tease it for about 24 hours beforehand as well. Oh, you know, there's fresh announcements are coming. Make sure you're notified. And they put up little sort of slides of corners of the graphics and things like that. It's all part of the fun. Some of them are exclusive to Britain. Some of them are exclusive to Canada or America. And I think that's down to individual rights issues, sometimes depending on whichever country or territory that one is in. But just like the last time when we looked at this month's releases a couple of weeks ago, the ones that are coming in July I think there's something for everyone here. So do you stake out the physical medias for these, Chris? Do you keep hovering over it, or do you get them delivered to you? Are you on their mailing list?
I am on the mailing list, but also yes, whenever they Arrow does their announcements the last Friday of every month at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they announce one every 2 minutes. And yes, I am one of those people that has my smartphone out and refreshing it every few seconds. It is for physical media collectors. It's like the high point of the month because they've left every other boutique label in the dust. I think Scream/Shout Factory completely imploding was the best thing that ever happened to Arrow. But yes, this is if you're a physical media person, this is a massive deal. I haven't decided which ones I'm going to yet because I live in Canada and, budget because we're all broke. So I will be getting a few of these.
You got to get Falling Down.
I haven't decided.
That's at the top of the list.
I haven't decided either yet, but I think I've got an inkling, but I thought I might get a fair idea, a broader idea, once I take in all of your opinions about the various movies. Because I've seen some, not all, some of them more recently than others, and there's a couple that I've never even heard of, Ian. At first here on the starting grid is 1985's To Live and Die in LA, and it says a federal agent is dead, a killer is loose, and the city of angels is about to explode. This is so in the 70s, one of America's finest ever maestros behind the camera, William Friedkin. He'd made The French Connection, The Exorcist, and Sorcerer, but in the 80s, he brought out this, one of the most stylish thrillers the decade has to offer, according to Arrow's website. It stars William Peterson from Manhunter as a Secret Service special agent on the hunt for a killer there. Willem Dafoe is in this too. And it predates Miami Vice, but looking at some of the photography, some of the various clips out there, it looks like it may have inspired Miami Vice up to a point.
Totally
So, Rabbi, have you seen this?
I'm sorry?
Rabbi, have you seen this?
Yeah, awesome. It's really awesome. It's really, really good. Again, it totally created Miami Vice, right? Miami Vice was Miami Vice was as close to this as the movie MASH was to the TV show MASH.
Oh, okay. Like a sanitized version of it, you mean?
Yeah, but this is really good. It's a good movie.
Ian?
Yeah. Yeah, Miami Vice is definitely a sanitized version. I'm a fan of William Friedkin, but I don't know. I think this film, it feels to me like it was made up as they went along. That's what
true.
it felt to me. With some of the dialogue is really awful. Not giving anything away, but the ending really made me feel like, why? If you've seen it, you'll just go, why? But William Friedkin's always want to do something different to the mainstream, and he certainly achieved that in this movie. I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but if you're a William Friedkin fan, I reckon you should get it. Also, it's going to look, because I've only seen it in the cinema twice, I think, when it was first released, and I think I saw it on TV or maybe DVD. It didn't look very nice, actually. So hopefully when Arrow releases it, I don't know how they're treating. Do they grab the print or something to make it look? So it might look really nice.
They grab the best option available.
When I think of William Friedkin, Ian, I think of films that screenplays, I suppose, stories that often take handbrake turns, that haven't got a conventional shape to them, and often by the end of them I'm sort of scratching my head how I got from one place to another. And sometimes that's a good thing, like David Lynch. Sometimes it's a good thing, and sometimes it's a frustrating thing.
Yeah.
And depending on the age that you are, this is one of those films that I may have seen when I was younger, because when I looked at some images from this, some of it did seem familiar, but it would have been on ITV, would have been in 4:3, and this will almost certainly have left me cold, because most of Friedkin's films did back then. So for the sake of argument, I would say that I've never seen this, because I can't really remember anything about it.
They didn't really have a script. I mean, if believe it or not, French Connection never had a script. They had an idea and they had kind of a synopsis, and they made up as they went along. French Connection. So if you watch French Connection,
the second one it showed, like when he started taking pictures and stuff of a parade, I was like, you can tell a lot of it was done on the hoof. I remember I saw this in the Everyman Cinema in about 86, 87, like long after it came out. It's like this artsy-fartsy, art house cinema.
I know the one.
Yeah. I saw it there. Same place I saw Blue Velvet.
But
I remember it looking nice. I don't remember it looking grungy.
Just going back to French Connection. French Connection won Best Screenplay.
Really?
And they literally had to go back to the film and write the screenplay and just make sure it was physical. So there you go. Funny. But William Friedkin's always does that. He always has a basic idea. He believes that people speaking, because he only does like 2 takes. People speaking off the cuff is the best way to get a character across. And I disagree. In this film, it's obvious that they're just letting the actors do what they want to do at the end of the day, if you watch it very carefully. But it's all right. As a film, it's okay. You know, that's what I think anyway.
I'm at the place now where pretty much anything that's set in the 70s or the 80s, Gary, as long I don't even necessarily have to understand it or appreciate certain aspects of it. If it takes me back there, if it conjures up a particular flavour, and that's why I am kind of drawn to this, because what we said earlier on about Friedkin, I say I crave films that are different and oblique in some way, but at least you'd never forget the way they made you feel, and yeah, I like the look of this. I think it looks like there are several movies from that period which were simply too old for me. You know, you go into the video shop and the covers didn't appeal. You read the blurb and you can't relate to it. You know, when you're 10, these hard-boiled thrillers, I suppose, that are quite sprawling. I wasn't in the target audience, but I very much am now. So particularly because I'm stuck in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah, I would think that I haven't seen this one, but I would think this is more for, I don't know, Ian, would you say this is like for a casual viewer, or this is for somebody who either likes the genre, likes the director, whatever? If you were just browsing and had no idea what you wanted to watch, would this be like something that you'd pick up?
No,
if you were,
I think basically you're right. The last three, it's either you like the director or you like the genre. And that's the reason why you'll pick it up. But I don't believe any normie would gravitate towards this at all.
I think it's probably too dated at this point. Imagine like a very 80s Heat, I guess would be the way I would explain it.
I mean, like Dan, I do enjoy like watching like movies like set in LA, like in the 70s or 80s, because I always look out for the shot of that they always show, which is the Tower Records on Sunset, which was iconic.
Oh, brilliant.
And they always kind of show that. I go, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So nobody's familiar with this film. Then it's not just me where it's fallen between the cracks in the pavement to live and die in LA from back in 1985. Yeah, so this is a maybe. This is a maybe for me. This next one is a movie I've never even heard of, Chris, but I suspect you probably have, seeing as it does look like a bit of a chiller and a thriller. Hush.
Yep.
Hush here from 2016, and it says here before the haunting of Hill House and Dr. Sleep. This was the work of the writer Mike Flanagan, described by Arrow on their blurb as a lean, nerve-shredding exercise in minimalist terror, starring Kate Siegel, who I thought was the woman from Married with Children.
No, it's Katie Siegel.
But this is about a deaf novelist, who's living alone in a secluded woodland. Oh God, you can see where it's going already.
She would.
It's a great movie. No, for those of you who don't know, so Mike Flanagan, yes, so director of creators of Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass. This movie's 10 years old. It's from 2016. It was the next movie he did after Oculus. Originally for
Oculus, that was awesome.
Yeah, well, this was his follow-up to Oculus. Oculus was 2013. This was 2016. It was a Netflix exclusive for about 5 years. Netflix lost the rights to it. Scream Factory put it out about a year and a half ago, back in like their dying days. So it's low budget. I think the budget for this was only about $1 million. Blumhouse funded. But yes, it is creepy as hell. Very well done. Actually evokes that sense of terror that is all too often missing from movies. Now, the death element works very well. I would assume, actually, no, this is Arrow, so they probably won't. They will probably do their own transfer because they do that. But the Scream Factory looked about as good as you can get from Scream Factory, which unfortunately their 4Ks are average to average. So I'm assuming that Arrow will make this look absolutely outstanding, because they even made The Visitor look outstanding, and that movie was on crack. If you like horror, if you like Mike Flanagan, he has a very particular style, which is evident in this movie. It is creepy. It is suspenseful. It doesn't rely on gimmicks because it was shot on a very low budget. It was 2016, so just before the era of woke. Katie Seagal's, I think she's been in, or Kate Seagal has been.
Kate Siegel.
Yeah, see, now you got me doing this. No, I think she's been in most of Mike Flanagan's films. I believe they're actually married or were married.
Chris, do you remember a film years ago, a thriller called Mute Witness about a girl? Do you remember that? It was a thriller about a girl who couldn't speak. I do, and it was a simple, really lean thriller. This looks a bit more, slightly more horrific. It says here that she's cut off from help, forced into a brutal game of cat and mouse where silence becomes both her greatest vulnerability and her only weapon. This sounds brilliant. I'd never heard of this.
This is actually, ironically enough, Arrow put out Mute Witness, I think 3 years ago. Mute Witness is very much of its time. I think that was 1995, if I remember. That's, I would say, less horror, more suspense. I would say this is more horror than suspense. I would say my personal preference as a horror fan, I prefer this out of the two of them, but this is up to you. And also, if you're a non-horror fan, if you like more generic stuff, then yeah, you probably would prefer Mute Witness. It is also a time capsule of when it was produced, so I kind of like that.
So that means that Oculus is older than I thought it was, because as the rabbi said, that starred Karen Gillan, and there's a really memorable, the front cover of that is really sort of stark, isn't it?
2013.
And, yeah, God, blimey.
Great movie.
So,
really great movie. Also had Katie Sackhoff in it.
I only went to see it because of Doctor Who thing. That was it. That's the only reason why I went to see it.
Well, that was the first thing she did after leaving the show, and that's
you're right.
Started her career. No, it's a great movie. Like I've seen most of Mike Flanagan's films. I think there's the one right after Before I Wake is harder to get a hold of it. Which one?
The last film he did was shit. That one with Loki, the guy who played Loki.
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, I saw it in the cinema. I was like, "What the fuck?" And it ends really abruptly. I'm like, "This." I literally said to myself, "I've wasted fucking 2 hours of my life watching this shit."
Which one was that?
It's the one with it was the end of the world, and it flashed back to oh god, it was so rubbish. I just kind of put it out of my mind. With Loki dancing or something like that. It's absolute rubbish.
Yeah, it sounds horrendous. Scott is in the live chat there in the game closet, and he says, "Oh my God, my wife and I love this movie on physical, finally." So he's a happy camper, whereas Funky is getting it confused with the villain from a Batman.
Yes.
That's what I thought as well, right? That's totally what I thought.
Oh, and the movie you were talking about was The Life of Chuck. Yeah,
Life of Chuck was
I opted not
rubbish.
to see that one.
Absolute rubbish. As far
Karen
as
Gillan was in that as well, wasn't she?
She
Stephen
was.
Braddock is getting it confused with Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so everybody is really confused
That's a great hook.
in the live chat. Mr. Matt is talking about a different film completely. I'd like to see a good release of Blood Beach. I think it's a classic. The lead actor got murdered years later. The one he was playing the big the bagpipes. I thought he said big pips. Blimey. Okay. Yeah, I'll believe you to that one, Matt. I don't know what you're talking about, but fair enough. So that's Hush, out on the 13th of July. This is one this is a film that I'll probably pick up on another format before going for a big boutique release like this. But again, when you see these announced,
I think this is the only that's only been released twice because Netflix would not allow it on physical media until the rights expired. So if you're in North America, you've got the Scream Factory. If you're in the UK, you've got Arrow. But yeah, this doesn't have a cheap release.
There we are. This one is completely away from my comfort zone, Ian. But I know you like a Western. But do you like the look of Red Sun? Here, this is Red Sun from 1971. Two desperados, one Hellcat. The Hellcat is Ursula Andress from Dr. No and Casino Royale. So we've got one Hellcat and a samurai, the greatest fighting force the West has ever known. Directed by Terence Young. It's an East meets West classic shot in Almere and Spain, and starring 4 intercontinental superstars, including Charles Bronson. Gary, is that going to swing that for you?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I didn't know. I mean, Ursula Andress, who was in Dr. No, also directed by Terrence Young. So no, this looks.
I've seen it once. I think it was on TV. I think it was. I don't. Maybe Bolstrick could tell me, because isn't this the one where they tried to kill Ursula Andress and they put this thing around her neck, and the sun was making it shrink? Do you remember that?
Leather or something?
No. Yeah. Was it that
I have
one?
to be honest. I'm only. I've never been a big Western person. So yeah. I'll say sure.
Yeah, nothing about this interests me personally at all, apart from Terrence Young, I suppose. If Terrence Young made it, it probably is worth watching. But I've never been able to stand Charles Bronson. I've never found Ursula Andress particularly attractive. I don't like Westerns, and I'm not even that big on samurai movies, so this is definitely not for me.
That's a no for you then.
Why? Yeah.
No.
Again, I don't like to close anything down, Ian. You know, I'm not going to never say never, but I wouldn't blind buy something like this because it just leaves so many boxes unticked.
I just checked. It's a 6.8 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But this is why we like Arrow, even though they were originally in North America just a obscure horror movie label. Now, not only are there transfers awesome, like you will not get a bad release from Arrow, but if you notice at this release they have something for everybody, and they seem to make a point of doing that each month. Also, Dan, the one release that's not in that picture, the Stranger Things set also comes out in July. They announced that ahead of time.
I was crying when I saw the price of that. I'm going to have to get it at some point.
Actually,
no, you're not. Stranger Things was good up until the 3rd season.
Actually, you may want to check Amazon if you're in Canada and you're thinking of getting that. For some reason, right now they have the pre-order on for $150 off.
Wow!
So it was selling, I think, for $350. The deluxe edition I'm talking is I think it's like $215 or $215. So that's Canada. So it's actually right now, oddly enough, which contradicts what I was saying earlier. But if you want that. At least it was yesterday. I ended up ordering that one instead. I don't know.
Can I ask? Is the deluxe edition the one that comes with a hand job from Winona Ryder?
Oh, stop!
No, so to clarify, no, it does not come.
You know
with
what?
A hand job
Actually,
from
you're right,
Ryder.
Chris, because I'm checking now. Just the basic No Frills Complete Series Blu-ray is $129, which isn't bad. The deluxe edition Blu-ray is $160. The 4K is only $15 more, so I don't know why you wouldn't get that at $175. So yeah, boy,
they are all sale prices, and they do this because I think this is why it's always good to check Amazon, because they probably won't be doing this much longer because they suck. But if there's something from a boutique label, a massive release, and Stranger Things probably is the biggest release of the year. They want to get a certain amount sold. So you will see briefly, and Arrow does this, Scream Factory used to do this too. Just have a price alert on Amazon, because with the releases like this, you will often get like insane discounts like this. These are sale prices. After a certain amount is sold or pre-ordered, they go back to the regular. So if you want Stranger Things, my suggestion is to put in a pre-order from Amazon, because this is the lowest they will ever be. Yeah. If you change your mind, you can always cancel it.
Can I ask you a question, Bolstrick? Can I ask you a question? Sorry, Rabbi. Hush, right? They've got a black and white version. Do you know anything about that?
Wow.
Yeah, it's just they turned the color off.
Why? No, why?
Okay, I will tell you that the movie has almost like a film noir element to it, or aesthetic to it. It actually, I did watch the black and white. It actually does work very well in black and white. So now I don't know what you could have just turned the color off on your TV and watch it in black and white. But yeah, there's a black.
They did the same.
Did you have any idea how many controls?
Fury Road, didn't they?
Yeah, they've done that with a few things. But no, it's I didn't even look. I'm assuming the Arrow has the black and white version on it. I think. I know the Scream Factory did.
But it's
know,
free
listen,
on
it's
it's free on
Systems,
Amazon. The black and white version is free on Amazon, so you could watch it for free. So
Well,
I'm
I don't
assuming
know
the
if
color version's better. I don't know.
No, it looks outstanding, but it does work in black and white, and it actually ups the creepiness factor.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm just wondering.
Again, those Stranger Things DVDs sounded like Stranger Things was good until the 3rd season, but like 170. I would rather be the guy who volunteers to pick up the soap in a prison shower.
It always has something to do with your ass.
It does. It does. That's my my ass only is a One Direction thing, and I am reasonably obsessed by that. Yeah.
But I do have the pre-order. I canceled my Arrow pre-order because it's still at the regular price, and this is like with the Canadian exchange rate and shipping like more than $100 cheaper. I will probably keep it because I love those first 2 seasons because I was the age of those kids when that happened. I have not watched the final season. I will not watch the final season.
Well, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, if you remember. I haven't seen past season 2, and I can't even remember what happened in those. So this is a seminal. Whatever we think of it, whatever reviews that are out there, this is like Lost before. It's a seminal genre series. So it's great that this release is out there. Yeah. I'm probably going to get it, but I'm going to bide my time. I'm going to think carefully about which edition that I get and see how the prices may fall.
I check if it's on sale on Amazon.uk because I guess they do it in Canada. It seems to be .com in the US is on sale. Because you have a couple months, you can always cancel it. I would pre-order it because this will probably be the cheapest you'll ever see it. So that's also for anybody in the chat. If you're thinking about getting it and you're not sure, you can pre-order it and you can always cancel because as soon as a certain percentage or a certain amount is sold out, this is going to go back to the regular price.
Yeah.
We've got several comments about this in the live chat now. Funky says, I'm surprised Netflix is allowing a physical media release.
Oh, there's reasons for that.
Yeah, we talked about this one as well, Funky, 2 weeks ago. So if you go back to the show from 2 weeks ago, you get the full explanation there from Chris. He went into great detail and explained exactly why and how this Stranger Things is happening, because it shouldn't exist if we take on board the things that are popular myths about Netflix, about Stranger Things, and about Arrow too. So Chris explained it all on the show from a couple of weeks ago. Go over there and please like the video too. It helps a lot more than you think. More releases here from Arrow. This is still in the 70s. 1973 is The Outfit here, based on a novel by Richard Stark, who I've never heard of. I see. So this is a pen name. This is a pseudonym for the writer Donald E. Westlake, who I have heard of, Gary. One of the greatest crime writers who ever lived, according to Arrow. A federal agent is dead, a killer is loose, and the city of angels is about to explode.
Wait, wasn't that you just described? That was the Live and Die in LA.
I was going to say the same thing.
It's the same movie, just a different title.
There you go, Arrow. You need to sort out your website here. So, okay, so once upon a time, a professional thief and his brother Eddie robbed a bank together. Unfortunately, that bank was owned by the criminal syndicate known as The Outfit. Now, Eddie is dead, and it looks like Earl is next. But The Outfit has encountered on Earl's iron will. This sounds brilliant. I've never been a big fan of Robert Duvall. Joe Don Baker's also in this. Again, another one of those actors who was in everything in the 70s, did a couple of Bond movies later on. It's
Mitchell!
7th
yes, I was thinking
July. I love the cover to this as well. So what do you think? Anybody's seen The Outfit? I've never heard of this one.
No.
I've seen it ages ago, but this is written by isn't this a famous writer that wrote this? That it was based on a novel, right?
Yeah,
and
Donald Westlake. I've just told you.
Who? What's the guy's the guy who
the
main star? No, the main star. What's the character's name? Because
Robert Duvall.
Yeah, Robert Duvall's character. What's he called?
Earl.
No, the character that he plays
in this movie. It's called Earl.
Oh, right. Because in the novels, that's not his name. and several actors have played that character. Like, for instance, the Lee Marvin, you know, the one where he wants his money back. He only wants to get paid for his job. That one, he's the same character, apparently. So it's the novel. Oh God, it's hard to explain. It's a character that's been living in loads of different novels, but throughout the history, it's been played by several different actors. And he's
gotcha,
just
like
one
the
of
Tom
them.
Clancy, Clancy things that they keep making with different people playing Jack Ryan, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and even Statham played this character as well. I think it was the one. Yeah, I think it was the one with J-Lo. So he played the same character. So yeah. Maybe I'm wrong.
I've done a film with J-Lo. So,
yeah,
maybe this is worth looking up.
Yeah, definitely.
But this does look very 70s. Again, Gary, I was talking about the kind of things that I'm gravitating towards. This looks very much in line with that. The rolled up sleeves, pointed weapons.
Is that Karen Black? That looks like Karen Black.
Yeah, it's Karen Black.
It's Karen Black.
There is a big history about this because Tarantino did a whole segment on this film and other films with the same character. They changed the name slightly, but it is the same character based on the books, the Pulp Fiction books. So
and to circle back to what we were talking before, Ian, there's your small TV.
That was the TV in my bedroom.
Black and white. Notice it's even got the handle. Everybody had one with the handle.
I know. It's crazy,
ours had a handle on it as well. I'm looking at the tin next to the bed there. I wonder if was she a prosy? Is that where you have to put the rolled up notes?
I don't know.
To wait and see when we see the outfit, I suppose.
I've seen this. I've seen this a long time ago. It's a very good film. It's obviously quite slow because in those days films were slow, but it is a very good film. Brilliant performance by Baker and the main character. Really good.
I'm sold.
A guy like Robert Duvall would never be a film star in 2026. No. I feel Woody Gary. He's got that kind of well-lived-in face. Well-lived-in face. That's it. Because he can actually act.
Because it was these films that that influenced Tarantino to make Reservoir Dogs. It was these kind of movies at that moment in time. When was this made?
Ian,
was it the 60s?
1973. So would you imagine then that if someone like me who loves Tarantino movies, I'd probably enjoy this? Is that what you?
I don't know because it is very, very slow. It's an old-fashioned 70s movie, if you know what I mean. Yeah, if you watch the Thomas Crown Affair with Steve McQueen and you watch the one with Pierce Brosnan, Steve McQueen's one is so slow.
It is.
It's incredibly slow. And then when you watch the Pierce Brosnan one, it's moving at a pace.
It is.
So this film is that kind of ilk. If you know
even that chess game in the original, Ian, takes like a half an hour.
Yeah.
And also, this is not a 4K. This is a Blu-ray only release, but part of their Warner deal. I'm assuming the film elements for this. I'm guessing this would have been just an interpositive if they didn't bother doing 4K. But usually that's a sign that the film elements are pretty ropey, and they probably did the best they could, but probably didn't warrant a 4K release, which is another thing you have to give them credit for.
And they know, Chris, that some of these titles will sell better than others.
Well, it's well, the biggest one is one we'll talk about shortly. But this is one that I'll be getting. I'm debating if I want to get this because I actually do want to see it, but I might want to wait for it to go on sale. But the good thing about Arrow is where you will have other companies who I shall not name because that will end up in a 20-minute complaint session. But some companies will put films on 4K that have no business being on 4K because the source elements suck. So at least Arrow does not do that. I will look into this and find out why this isn't a 4K. I don't think it's a sales thing because they put other very niche things on 4K. I'm assuming this probably is because the original elements are crappy.
So that probably doesn't exist anymore. Sorry,
well,
mate.
Some
yeah,
of them don't, do they? Some of them do.
It's probably the actual film itself doesn't exist anymore. It's eroded away or something like that, and the only thing they've got left is a digibeta or some nonsense like that.
Well, there's no way they'd have the original negatives because those go to 4K.
Yeah.
Although with the Ninja Turtles, they put out 2 and 3 with just the inner positive, but you did get the first one, and there is a noticeable difference. The first one has the original film negatives or rescanned.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, we talked about a movie called Female Yakuza, Ian, which mystified most of us. It looked of a certain kind, and this time, so that was the releases for this month. In July, they're bringing out the sequel. This is called Sex and Fury, which sounds like my Tinder profile there. So this is Sex and Fury.
What have you been getting up to?
Yakuza tale and Arrow. This is Arrow's own pitch. Unparalleled, Rabbi, levels of sleaze and violence combined in a haze of psychedelia with this
Rabbi's
deadly
I'm telling you, they know what to sell, man, don't they?
Japanese exploitation film.
Dirty man.
A high watermark of 1970s toy Yakuza madness. This looks right up your street, Rabbi. Would you watch Sex and Fury?
Doesn't it? Does it come with some very good mushrooms? I wonder, because that would go wonderfully with this movie.
No, that was.
I think you'd have to source those for yourself there. So in this one,
privately source those. I don't imagine that'd be hard. My God, this looks. I want to see a trailer for it at the very least. Sex and
this
Fury.
one, so this is the sequel. To get screen caps from this is quite difficult because in most of them she's topless, and I'm not sure on how I can show this on YouTube. So in the sequel, Okko gets captured by Yakuza, who use Chinese women as drug mules. This forces her to use her sharp skills and blade to fight her way out. A sordid den of sexual deviance.
Yeah. Rabbi's pre-ordering as we speak.
It could be called the Rabbi Story.
This is the kind of film that Tarantino will get a hard on for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
right up his street. Right up his street.
Kill Bill. It's a surprise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uma Thurman was allowed to keep a top on while she played the lead in that, but this looks of the similar kind of mold, a similar breed. Sex and Fury. But I've never seen the original. Odds are I'll never see this. But I love the fact that they put these things out, just as Chris said, and it does look entertaining. And maybe one day
these films always are.
Maybe one day I'll tap into a whole seam of these. Before you know, I've watched it's kind of like Godzilla movies. Before you know it, you've watched 4 Mothra movies on the bounce, Gary.
Oh, Godzilla minus one is awesome. Have you seen Godzilla minus one?
No.
Yeah, I've never either heard of seen this. On movies like this, I kind of top out at the 4K of Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. That's kind of where I stop. Which is a great movie.
Obviously, gratuitous female nudity can often swing it for me, I won't lie. In this case, the fact that it's a foreign language movie does kind of swing the pendulum back in the other direction. Do you watch this sort of stuff, or is this an acquired taste for a rainy day, or if you happen to be late, up late one night and it's on cable?
Well, I have a friend that's into these kind of movies, 70s, stroke 60s kind of movies, but not the famous movies in the 60s and 70s, but just odd ones like this. I've seen a couple, but they are boring as hell as far as I'm concerned. But the violence is really high on its thing. So when violence actually, they're an acquired taste. Put it that way.
Matt Potts is a fan. Yes. He's singing its praises there in the live chat. Sex sells reminds PD Rich and Matthew. Even Matthew Pounder likes this wonderful lurid.
Okay, title. Dan, we should do a commentary on a movie like this because I've never seen anything like this.
We should.
I think that'd be really fun.
A wolf cub and breastfeeding, according to.
Oh, I think that's the one that they did the comic series on, right?
Yeah.
With the
Lone Wolf and Cub.
with the ninja with the baby on his back traveling around.
Frank Miller did a bunch of it, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
That was great. That was a good film. That one.
Quit knocking Asian cinema, says Matt. I'm sure I've seen one of these, says Funky. So yeah, she's got a giant tattoo around her right tit on that. So I think you're never going to forget it once you've seen it. I am getting sort of mildly fascinated.
And if you do, you'll feel a right tit.
Dan, you need to
on the
write
6th of July, Rabbi.
Dan, you need to write in to see if they can do a dubbed version just for you.
Just for me, I'd be happy with that. Not many takers, it seems, on 6. We were the same a couple of weeks ago when we talked about the first one. We were also drawing a blank a little bit because we've never heard of it. I think everybody has heard, though, of this next one, Falling Down, from 1993. Oliver Stone's seminal 90s thriller. Ian, this kind of defied genres as well, didn't it? And really broke out into the mainstream. And even now, it's probably one of Michael Douglas's best remembered roles.
It is. It's a fantastic film. Seriously, from start to finish. The strange thing about this film is you do feel Michael Douglas's plight. You know, everywhere he goes, there's idiots. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I did feel sorry for him at the end. He was a man that was lost, completely, utterly lost from the beginning, first frame of the film to the last frame of the film. And also, who else is in it? Who's the cop that was chasing him? Same guy that was in The Alpha. Robert Duvall was fantastic in it. I recommend this film highly. There's some scenes in it where you cheer, and then scenes in it where you think, "Oh my God, why did he do that?" But great movie, great movie.
Shocking, darkly funny, and eerily prescient. Falling Down remains. Blimey, I'm proper tongue twisted this time. Falling Down remains one of the most unforgettable portraits of rage in modern American cinema. And it's been restored in stunning 4K, looking sharper and hits harder than ever before, according to Arrow. The director, sorry, was Joel Schumacher, not Oliver Stone. I'm getting my films mixed up there.
Yeah.
Provocative film, as I say, at the time. I remember lots of people going to see this, people I was working with, and coming back and sort of telling me every single piece of it, to the point that when it eventually came out, I felt that I'd already seen it, even though I hadn't seen it. Again, it was kind of, this film was spoilt for me, I suppose, by the events surrounding it. That does happen when films become sort of must-see, and everybody and their nan goes to see them.
It's a masterpiece.
But over time, I think I saw it about 10 years later, and I was really sort of won over by it. But it's not something I go back to all the time. Now I'm kind of rediscovering old films. I'll probably get this. I think I'll get something even more out of this now that I'm in middle age myself and getting increasingly frustrated.
This predicted the present in 1992.
It did, and what it did was it did things that you go, yeah, why is that? Like, for instance, when he went into the burger joint, and people like wanted breakfast, and he said, "Oh, it's 1 minute past it," and he's like, "Why? It's just there. Give me it," you know. And when he gets it, he goes, "Look at that, and look at that picture. Can you see? There's a big difference between this and that." And there was, you know, and there's a bit with the street as well. Why are they covering up the street? There's nothing wrong with the street. Why are they doing that? You know, that
there is now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's a good film, and I think it came out at a time where Americans were very upset over something, maybe. So it hit all the right spots, so to speak, and it's very well directed.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry,
was Bush the president?
I don't know.
It came out right before the '92 election. This was during the Bush senior.
Yeah, there was some real
'92. That was Bush senior.
As I remember it, there was a bit of a hangover from the 80s as well, because obviously the 80s movies, even action movies, were very idealistic. They were huge power fantasies, but with a certain sheen to them and a fantastical power
idealism
fantasy.
Here.
But as with, I think Die Hard kind of brought through a wave of these kind of movies that got progressively sharper,
grumpier,
darker, and
like more
pointed in a particular direction. I mean, I know that you could argue this is sort of satire. That there's a satirical edge to it up to a point because of the idiosyncratic nature of the character and the way that he speaks. But I feel like this would never have come out in the 80s.
It's I think this movie is brilliant. I would put this on my list of probably the top 20 movies ever made.
It's really good.
It is the perfect representation of a man who absolutely snaps. I don't know what it says about me, but this is one of those films that I watch, I'd say at least once, at most every 2 years. This will be the fourth. I've had the VHS, I had it on DVD, I had it on Blu-ray. This is the one release that I am definitely getting. If you have never seen Falling Down, get this. This movie is awesome, and it's a perfect predictor in 1992 of 2026, especially if you live in Canada, where everybody is about to snap. Actually, you know what? Don't watch this if you're about to snap, because it might.
Do you know? There's a rumor that this influenced REM's video. Everyone Hurts, because in this film he steps out of the car, doesn't he? He's in a traffic jam, and he just loses it, steps out of the car and he starts walking. And in that video, obviously they do that, but they do it with everybody that's in the traffic jam, don't they? In the
that
REM
is such a depressing video. Yeah, everybody's sad. Yeah. I'm like, everything sucks. I don't know. That's
when I look back through the list of films that Joel Schumacher made. My God, it's an eclectic bunch, isn't it? He's got Flatliners,
no shit,
Boys, Batman and Robin, Showgirls.
I can't imagine him directing Michael Douglas. Michael, action. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's so gay. It's just what's he doing?
Ian, not just directing Michael Douglas, directing Michael Douglas in the most terrifying, intense role. One of the most intense and terrifying roles in history. I could do an entire 6-hour stream on how much I love this film and how much, yes, this is reality. So I watch it. You will not be in a happy mood when you finish this. This is one hell of a depressing movie. Nothing good happens. And also there's the subplot of Robert Duvall and his nagging wife. That's fun as well.
He's going to retire, isn't he? Yeah. But I wouldn't say it's depressing. I would say it does things that you've always thought. Like I've always thought, why
the end is depressing.
Yeah, well, of course. But I've always thought things like that. Why are they digging up the street when there's nothing wrong with it? I always used to think that, and that brings that up as well. And when he goes to the McDonald's place, why is breakfast only till 12? Do you know what I mean? And when you're there and you order it, if it goes 1 minute past 12, they don't give it to you. And it's like the breakfast is right there. Do you know what I mean? So it was kind of tapping into that psyche.
Or the convenience store.
At that moment in time. With
the soda. I'm like, five. If you're gonna live in the country, learn the language. Bang, bang, bang. Or like the he gets mugged.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, it's like, here, take it. It's got like an apple in it. Like this, or the golf course scene. Yeah. Now you're gonna die with that stupid hat. Yeah. I love this movie. It's like the whole thing is just awesome.
Like why can't you walk through a golf course? That was the thing, wasn't it? So yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Which should we do a commentary on? Sex and Fury or Falling Down? Maybe we should do a
Falling Down.
Not even close. Sex and Fury.
No, Falling Down, because we can relate to everything in here.
Yeah. It is pretty good movie.
Well, and it hits differently in a global war zone. I'm not optimistic.
It hits differently when you're older, because when I was a kid, why are they so upset about these things? Now it's like, God damn it!
Yeah. Do you know what's interesting about this film as well is that you get to learn about Michael Douglas' character halfway through when he's interviewing. Was it Barbara Hershey, who plays his wife? Right? She says he hasn't got a job. He goes out. We're divorced. We're separated. Do you know what I mean? Because all the way through the film, you get the impression that, you know, because he's talking about he's got a wife and he's got a kid, but that he hasn't seen him in months. Do you know what I mean? So you get to learn through Robert Duvall's, you know, investigating how he is, because you start off with him being raw, don't you? Doing that stuff, and you're wondering why he's doing it, and then as the film rolls on, you get to know why he's doing it, if you know what I mean. So it's a really well-written film.
It strikes me, Ian, that we were nearly 10, 11 years after First Blood coming out, and the character, Michael Douglas's character in this, is a sort of a parallel sort of existence. So much time on in society and in culture. I think it says a lot of the role of the kind of the protector of a patriarchal sort of figure. Obviously, both in America, even if it's very different parts of America. And it's just interesting when you look at cycles like that, how that role sort of changes and gets molded by real world events and by the drive of culture and the role of men, of people, and of families.
Well, the thing is, though, if you look at that poster very carefully, it gives that ordinary man vibe, doesn't it? The 9 to 5 vibe. But the most interesting bit of dialogue is towards the ending when he's confronted by Robert Duvall, and he says to Robert Duvall, "What? I'm the bad guy?" Do you know what I mean? He truly believed what he was doing. He could not believe that he's considered now the bad guy, and he was fighting for what's right all the way through the movie. Do you know
That's
what I mean?
why it's just brought John Rambo to mind, because I think of John Rambo, not with the sort of bandana tied around his head wearing a singlet. I'm thinking of John Rambo with his bag over his shoulder coming back from the army. In his civvies, just looking around at he's returning home, and there's an open sky with trees surrounding him, and it's like, okay, what next? And it just has that similar kind of there's a sort of a parallel to it, a flip side to it. That's falling down. That's out on the 20th of July. It seems like this is an essential.
If you're going to get one,
it's an essential, Chris.
Get this. I could not. This might be the most excited this year I was for a release, and I was going through Arrow's updates, and they just did the UK only stuff. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of underwhelming. Then I refresh. This pops up. Holy shit! It's like I was very happy.
Yeah, I was starting to see that, and I was surprised and delighted to see this final one as well. So this is Soylent Green, starring Charlton Heston, fresh from Planet of the Apes and the Omega Man. This kind of makes up the third part. I think a lot of people view this as a sort of trilogy, a thematic dystopian trilogy of films that Charlton Heston made.
It's just different culinary choices. It's fine.
It's the year 2022. So this is behind us now. But it says in the blurb, people are still the same. They'll do anything to get what they need, and they need Soylent Green. Again, a prescient depiction of a world of overpopulation and ecological collapse where resources are scarce. The elite live in spacious, walled-off communities, eating natural food and drinking clean water, whilst the masses live in squalor, collecting water from communal taps and eating highly processed food wafers made by one corporation in particular. Rabbi, this is somewhat of a genre classic, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, listen, anybody who has a vague collection of genre of classic sci-fi would be embarrassed not to have this. This is like even more than Falling Down. It's a must.
It has one of the best scenes in cinema history. I won't spoil it, but you won't agree with their culinary choices.
Yeah, ideally, you want to see this movie knowing absolutely nothing about it, because unfortunately, this is one of those movies where, like, what became the meme from this movie is the massive spoiler,
right?
Kind of like the way that when they started boxing, the video releases for Planet of the Apes with the Statue of Liberty on the cover. It's like, okay, way to blow the payoff of the movie on the cover of the video. But you want to see this movie absolutely just start.
I don't think it's possible. Do you think it's possible nowadays?
Yeah,
maybe with the TikTok generation who don't know anything.
Generation.
It is. I'd say it is now, because nobody thinks anything prior to like 10 years ago exists. Like, so 70s. Oh dear.
It's Arrow Video. It's like striking art for the cover of the book, and it looks like the original poster is actually on the video itself, with just specialized art for the.
You'd be amazed the amount of big hit movies from past decades, even as recent as the 90s, that a modern generation, people under the age of 30, have never even heard of.
Nope.
Huge films, and this is almost certainly one of them. I recently spoke to somebody who had no idea there were earlier Planet of the Apes films before Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
So give me a break.
That is the kind of world that we're living in. You would be surprised. I think this is definitely one of them. I mean, I saw this again when I was a kid. Haven't seen it since. Never owned physical media, so I'll be picking this up. What was that, Ian?
It was on BBC Two. It started at 11:30 and finished, I don't know, 1 or something like that.
Edward G. Robinson's last film.
Yeah, it's. I'm not really a fan of this film. I thought it was all right. I wouldn't watch it again.
What do you feel it's lacking that films like Planet of the Apes or Logan's Run have? What's this missing?
Well, Logan's Run had Jenny Agutter. So there's no contest there.
Yeah.
It's around
Can't
the same
argue with
time.
that.
It's another Warner Brothers film, so it's they're stable mates, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I personally thought it was a little slow, personally, and I wasn't really interested in that kind of thing about the future and all that. Yeah, I mean, it was okay for me, but as I said, Logan's Run, I can get with that. You got the Sandman, you got them firing people, killing people. You got Jenny Agutter. What is it? The Planet of the Apes films were great because you got those scary apes, you know. But this was just about the future.
This fits in. This fits right in with the whole kind of like early 70s dystopian genre that the majority of sci-fi movies from like 70 through 76 were. This is like right in the middle of it.
I love the aesthetic, and also Charlton Heston does not stop sweating the entire movie. It is quite a marvel to behold.
He does,
This is a classic. I don't know. Maybe the more depressing and the more doom and gloom something is, I like it, which probably says something about me, and I'm sure nobody is surprised about that. I love the dystopian 70s movies, and actual 2022 could arguably be worse than this because we're in hell now. Yeah, see, he's very sweaty. He looks like that the entire movie. And
he looks like one of the cast of It Ain't Half Hot Mom, I think, Rabbi. He looks like
I was going to say, what's he blacked up? What happened there?
No, literally he doesn't stop sweating the entire movie.
No, that's not him on the right, Rabbi. It's not him on the right. It's him on the left, mate.
It looks like a wax. It looks like a wax statue of him.
I would say, and this is going to look spectacular. I'm saying that now. I am looking forward to Falling Down because I get to see a man snap in super definition. And I'm looking forward to this one because this is a great movie and this is going to look absolutely incredible in 4K.
Now, it would be great if Arrow includes like a couple of those little wafers in the package.
It's not a chunky box. If you include Soylent Green, that would go against. I think there might be some food regulations.
Okay.
If they wanted to.
There are several people dropping lines from this in the live chat. But Mr. Matt says, "I love 1970s sci-fi. Always bleak. As a kid, it knocked me sideways. Growing up, more happy-go-lucky stories. But as I got older, I learned to love the dark 70s stuff." And Victor Fontaine says, "I have the sci-fi triple feature Blu-ray set with Logan's Run, Omega Man, and Soylent Green. Glad to hear all three are coming to 4K. Now, there are rumors that Logan's Run is on the way. I would imagine it would be because it's a Warner Brothers title, but I haven't seen it actually listed. People are saying on X, people are saying and claiming on X that Logan's Run is on the way from Arrow. They haven't got anything listed at the moment.
I would
they're remaking it, aren't they? They're actually remaking the film.
We will not talk about any bastardization.
That's been the remake of that has been being battered around literally since the late 80s.
Please no. I would think that because Soylent Green is coming out, I would say it's a very good chance. I almost guarantee it. It's been rumored for a while that Logan's Run is on there. That would be my release of the year if that came out. And that, although Arrow, the one thing that the one kind of complaint I have about this and Falling Down, both of these needed their really thick, fancy, chunky boxes. These needed to be like premium releases with all the fancy stuff. That's my only complaint, though. Other than that, this is going to be awesome. But yeah, Logan's Run, that better be a big chunky box.
Big chunky stock of titles there to choose from come July from Arrow Video. Let us know which ones you're going for. I'm no wiser. I'm definitely going to go for Falling Down and Soylent Green. I'd like to see Hush, but I might try that before I buy it. I'm still kind of interested.
Watch the black and white version on Amazon. Watch the black and white version on Amazon.
You know what? If it's on Amazon, if it's on Amazon, I will watch that for free because I'm never. Sometimes I find those disappointing. Other times I love them, and it tends to be not much in between. So yeah, that's the good thing about these releases, about these press releases, all this publicity, is it does get films on each of our radar. I would imagine, that we've never heard of or seen before. Rabbi, have any of these captivated you particularly?
Yes, I like certainly Soylent Green. certainly Falling Down. Live and Die in LA. Listen, I would buy Soylent Green. I would BitTorrent Falling Down.
No, we won't.
And I would BitTorrent Live and Die in LA.
No, we won't.
We're
going to buy them and have lovely 4K discs on our shelf so we can support the companies.
Yeah, no, fuck.
I would buy Hush and Falling Down. Out of all
Soylent Green. You don't want to talk about.
No, I didn't think much. Didn't think much of Soylent Green, so I wouldn't go for that. But those two, I'll definitely.
I am
for.
So basically, Dan, if we did this show live from broadcasting live from a JB Hi-Fi, Chris would be the one who would be raging about all the empty shelves, and Rabbi would be basically, I'm going to go home and stream.
No, I'll be lying down on the empty shelves saying, "Oh, look at all the space." Oh. So relaxing.
And then when Rabbi gets himself banned from the internet because they like doing these days and told he can't use the internet anymore because they do that a thing that's all over the place. So when Rabbi can't stream anything anymore, he's going to be very, very sad that he didn't buy the physical media and now he can't watch anything, and he's very sad. And as punishment, I will give him a Care Bears DVD so he can repent for his terrible comments towards the Care Bears at the beginning of the episode.
All I'll say is the thing I got most in trouble with on the YouTube and the internet was intimating that I would like to have sex with Deborah Watling, right, when she was like eating. I just think that's a perfectly normal
You
thing.
can't do that unless you buy all these on disc.
Oh, wait. I get to sleep with 18-year-old Deborah Watling if I buy all of July's releases from Arrow Video.
No,
is that some kind of thing? Because that's worth the money.
No, Rabbi, you can only do that if you give up your crappy streaming thing and only do physical media. You only watch something on streaming if it's not available on physical media. And even if it is on streaming and it's on physical media, but you can't afford it at the time, you still can't stream it. You have to wait until you can afford it on the physical media.
I have to tell you something. Right now, I'm ripping disc 5 or season 4 of Star Trek Next Generation. Why am I ripping it? It's because it's not on Netflix anymore. And so I have 2 hard drives connected to my TV.
Read disk drive error. Oh, snappy, bang, bang.
It's a more solid technology than bloody discs.
And when you're torrenting your crappy stuff, it's like, oh, a virus. Well, your 2 hard drives of stolen stuff.
What I'm
going to encrypt your hard drives of all your stolen movies, and you're going to have to give them $1,000 to unlock the drives. And you wouldn't have had that problem if you just would have done physical media in the first place. So when your drives get encrypted because you've been stealing your movies, and then it's all going to be sad. And this could all be prevented because we don't do the streaming.
Yeah, these arguments are winning me over. It's doing the trick. It's doing the trick.
I want to ask Dan the question. Dan, where you are, where do you go physically walk to a place to buy physical media? Is HMV still around where you are? Because HMV is still around where we are.
There is a small HMV in my local shopping mall, the Merry Hill Centre.
About that too.
There used to be a really big HMV in there. They closed it down a few years ago, moved to a far smaller store. But to be fair to them, when it comes to these releases, again, they've scaled it down drastically. So
HMV going to go bye-bye
of them. But yeah, you can pick stuff up there. And they've got a decent selection of other titles as well.
Dan goes to car boot sales.
Well,
I hit the car boot sales. I hit the second-hand shops. That's where I get a lot of my stuff. But when it comes to these releases, I think I'm going to take Chris's advice and start using the Arrow website because he did.
Dan, there's some bad news about HMV. So they are owned by Sunrise Records, which is a Canadian company, and Sunrise Records is closing stores left and right in Canada. The closest one to me is now like a 2-hour drive away. So they own HMV in the UK and FYE in the US. So yes, for your local stores, more bad news. There is no good news.
I will say though, after our
good news. If you want to go to the Arrow Video site, right, all you have to do is go to Pirate Bay whatever.
we are not going to go there because you're going to get a virus.
Chris, you're going to love me because after our show from 2 weeks ago, I went ahead and ordered this. It's a great release, the Arrow video of Westworld.
Oh, yes, it is.
It's great. And I only did that because we talked about this 2 weeks ago on the show.
Perfect. See, Rabbi, you need to be more like Gary.
That's what this show's for. To fill gaps in our collection, to take up yet more house space, and to cream the rabbi's crackers. It's the end of the line for the rabbi, I know, but thank you again for joining us, mate.
I'm on my way out, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm on tomorrow night. What am I talking about? I don't know.
He's got a long night of torrenting ahead of him.
Yeah,
enjoy your virus.
Okay, first I use Macs. That's why I don't get viruses. But secondly,
a Macintosh can get a virus.
Yeah, okay, but it just never has. Look, I'm sorry for all your doom
now that you said no,
nothing's happened.
Karma is going to work against you, my friend. You need to get on the physical media.
Yes. You will get on the. I've got fucking shelves of it.
No, you need more.
What do you want out of me?
You need more.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Why?
I have too many.
Because you can't torrent because you're torrenting.
But you can't go because you can't. Oh. Yeah, I'm fine, dude. Okay, I'm fine.
No, you're not.
You know what I'm going to do? Well, as soon as I finish this, going to put my feet up. I'm going to watch. I'm going to stream Mission Impossible 7 from Apple because I bought it.
You're breaking up a little bit. I think the viruses on your Mac are starting to interfere with your screen.
No. I don't even want to watch it. I just want to annoy you.
It was a lot safer to get your
entertainment. I was born annoyed. You can't annoy me any more than I'm already annoyed because I'm annoyed
at
everything.
Your life worse. It was
Rabbi,
life can't get any worse.
I think it was a lot safer back in the old days to go and fill your boots behind the red curtain than it could be to go to some of the torrent sites. But I wish you the very best.
Is there like a porn Netflix?
No, Netflix didn't have porn, did they?
Is there like a porn version of Netflix?
If they ever do like a Michael Jackson, a Michael type of movie for Rabbi, that will be the name of it. Though it'll be called Behind the Red Curtain.
But not even in Blockbuster. Blockbuster never used to have porn.
No. What I'm saying is there an X-rated version of Netflix, like an app like Netflix? You put on
no,
and you can scroll
that's
wrestling midgets.
That's called.
Yes,
that's called Pornhub.
That's the Pornhub, Rabbi. You don't need to pay for that. You of all people should know that.
No, dude. While I am obsessed with the porn, I do stay far away from it. It is not good for you, mate. It is not good for you. You will go blind.
Well, no, but if you get it from legal places, like your computer's going to go.
No. Porn is always bad for you. Okay, I hate to be the one to tell you, it's never going to make your life better. I never thought I heard
the rabbi say
this
that.
This is
the way he's
you should all know.
Not even the film. Say, for example, if you let your imagination run really wild, Rabbi, imagine a girl working in a donut shop one night. And
there you go. Oh, my erection's gone. It's good. Thank you.
There you go. That's killed the mood. Thanks.
Stay on target always, Rabbi. Thank you again for your company, mate. You've got to say it before you go, though, for Chris.
I am. I'm going to climb the wooden hill to Bedfordshire because I ain't cream crackered.
And he's not going to torrent anything this week. He's going to go out and actually purchase his content like a good boy.
Small step
for man, one giant leap for mankind.
I would have stayed there, you know. But there was just no atmosphere. Wow!
Once you've got it on scotch, you've got it.
That's right.
Can we stay on target, or is it curtains for HMV? Heaven only knows. After that bombshell. Oh, the rabbi's still here. I thought he got.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were wrapping up. Okay, I'm going. Night, everybody.
No torrenting.
Thank you. Yes, who needs torrenting when you've got all this and Blockbuster maybe like this guy. This was the equivalent of torrenting back in the day, grabbing a couple of armfuls, wasn't it, Ian, and just going for it and stocking yourself up for a couple of nights at least with that lot.
I didn't know that Blockbuster had the power over Hollywood, because if Hollywood wanted to put out an X-rated movie, they could block them. Did you know that?
No.
Anybody knew that? Yeah, Blockbuster had the power over Hollywood. Hollywood had to comply to Blockbuster. If one film that they had, because as Rabbi says that they're very Christian sort of thing, if they had one film and it was an 18 and it had certain scenes they didn't agree with, they wouldn't accept it on their shelves, and then the Hollywood company have to go back and edit it out, and then Blockbuster would accept it. So they had an enormous power, Blockbuster.
That was one of the reasons for their eventual karmic implosion.
Yeah. They wouldn't take anything. So there you go.
I spent many an early Friday evening at Blockbuster trying to find something to watch on the weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, we all did. I miss them days. Well, except for Rabbi, I'm sure he just stole. I keep hearing him. He's not hearing. I can't make.
He's not here.
Not as fun.
He's a very naughty
and
boy.
There's section 31 right there.
Oh, they're coming. Don't torrent
right
or Hammy Giorgio's going to come.
We've got just a sweep on the comment section before we leave. Funky says HMV has been dead and buried at least twice in the last few years. You're quite right. It has. Jewish Pornhub is worse, according to Lord. Jewish Pornhub is worse. Always dangerous to have the rabbi on. Reminds us, Matt.
Well, torrenting, yeah.
People all recommending this Pornhub. OF. Maybe, says Funky.
That is not an official recommendation of
from us.
This channel.
That site
Let's
is just sad.
clear.
Very, very sad. If you go there, you're very sad.
And Funky asks, what's the old HMV now? I remember the 5 story. Now, Funky is now talking about the HMV in Birmingham city centre. So that's obviously my local city. And they used to have, a big 5-story HMV. It is now it's now half. Funky, if you can get your head around this, it's half of a Primark. There is a 10-story, effectively, divided, albeit into 2 halves. It took up most of what used to be the Palisades shopping precinct, is now one giant Primark. So that's where HMV used to be. HMV has relocated to the Bull Ring. They used to have 3 in Birmingham. They're presently down to just the one in the Bull Ring. It's still quite large, don't get me wrong, but it's not, obviously, it's not what it was. What else is here? I'd like to see a dedicated physical media night devoted to soundtracks, excuse me, and the people who made them. Such a range of genres and big budget, low budget compositions. I would be.
Got to have Ian for that, because Ian's king of soundtracks.
Yeah, I'm kind of in line with that, and I know that Sarah Graham would probably be there. But you see, we're trying to establish a new show here, and so we want to develop an audience of people who are into physical media, and largely that's going to be people who are interested in predominantly movies and secondarily TV. So we can't. Maybe when the show's more established and we've grown our audience, then maybe we can start doing things like that and having fun deviations from the standard. But for now,
we're going to have
the people, just like Chris says, who stake out those releases from those boutique labels and who are dedicated hardcore collectors. We have to grow our audience here with just TV and movies. I'm not ruling it out in the future, but for now, it has to be simply the TV and movies. What else have we got? Hopefully the new season of Beyond Paradise is out on DVD soon, asks Funky. Well, usually they come out directly after the series.
Yeah, I've actually kind of got it. I got that pre-ordered. It comes out, I think, in about 3 weeks.
Do you still watch that show?
I watch them all, Ian. I love them.
Oh, I think they're rubbish.
I'm unrepentant. I love them.
Oh, do you? Okay.
More questions about shops, local shops in the Birmingham area. Might have to wait for the next chill stream before I talk about that. It's too much of a rabbit hole. Soundtracks would be a great show. It would, but again, I can't stress this enough. We are trying to establish something else here, away from the norm. And by going down rabbit holes like that, you never grow an audience. So it's going to have to wait for the time being. But I appreciate the interest, everybody. No, not a Primark. There's Funky, a giant clothes store, cheap clothes that are made overseas, often by 7-year-olds. So it's not somewhere
That's
not somewhere that
depressing.
I really recommend.
I brought a couple of jeans from there. So
have I.
Primark.
I bought stuff there years ago as well, and I was a little bit disgusted in myself when I found out how it was all sort of. I know that there's probably not many clothes stores that are too ethical, but apparently Primark are quite bad, and that's how they keep their prices
all of
low.
them are. I think all of them are, Dan. All of them are. All of them do that anyway.
Obviously, the cheaper you buy your clothes, though, Ian, the more of this stuff you can buy. That's the thing.
Exactly. Well, the last
not if you're in Canada.
The last film I brought, and this is a long time ago now, was I think last year was was Lethal Weapon and True Lies on 4K. That was the last two I brought.
And that True Lies was butchered.
No, well, look, right. A lot of people complain about the AI that they used. Thing is, though, if you zoom in, right, carefully, and you look at a face in the background, it's screwed up. But who the fuck's gonna do that? Do you know what I mean? You're there to watch the movie, you know. I'm not there to look at faces. It's ridiculous. Film is fine.
You've got a point. It's often people looking for something to be aggrieved about. I think
that's me.
There's a fine line. I think there is definitely a fine line. There are people who, I'm very, again, this is another rabbit hole, but in the realms of TV releases in particular, this is getting to be quite a thorny subject. And I think it's not a black and white issue. But I can't deny, Ian, that there are people out there who spend, a release comes out and they spend 2 or 3 days holed up, not enjoying the content of the box set, but looking for things to be annoyed about. And whilst
at least I condense my annoyance.
And whilst on one hand, Chris, I think the people who sell us this stuff at a premium price and who get us salivating for it for several months in advance should be aware of their audience and their demands and their appetites. I also think that can go too far as well, and we can sort of drift over into a place of entitlement and bad faith. And
then there's some that
you compare a shot of. I saw one video compared a shot of Arnie. Like a shot of Arnie's face like that, and then I look at the AI, goes, he's got more wrinkles. I'm like, so fucking what? That's just one frame. What is wrong with people? You know, it doesn't matter. Honestly, it is worth buying because the film is great, as far as I can say.
I get grumpy at formerly great boutique labels that now Shout Factory. I'm still mad about leaving Las Vegas. You have this great movie that people have been waiting for years to come out because the DVD has been out of print for a decade. And what do? No slipcover, no special features, a busted eco case, and one of the crappiest transfers you have put out in years. You suck. But Arrow is nice. I like Arrow.
We don't like Shout, but we do like Arrow.
Well, Dan, to clarify, we used to like Shout. I used to love Shout / Scream. Now, but then they got bought out by a hedge fund, and now they suck. Although small tidbit, Arrow was bought out a couple of years ago by, I believe, a cosmetics company, and they're fine. So it doesn't always have to go bad. Scream Factory, you bastards. Sorry, I'm going down a rabbit hole. I'm going to shut up now because if you get me complaining about Scream Factory, you've heard my rants, and this will go on. For the next
I'm very
3 hours.
excited. This is the first I've heard potentially that Logan Jordan is coming out on 4K. I'm very excited. I'm sure if it's Arrow,
rumored, but almost.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see with a commentary from Michael York and Jenny Agutter. That would be great. I know that there's also a rumor that isn't Michael? Michael York is still alive. I'm also heard a rumor that Arrow's going to be doing, as a follow-up to Outland, they're going to be doing Peter Yates' other great sci-fi movie, or which I think is a great sci-fi, which is 2010 this year.
I love that.
So I can't wait for that.
That's another film that's grown on me. Ian, I saw 2010 in the cinema when it came out in 1984. Do you know how many people were there in the small cinema in my little town to watch that?
How many?
Including me and my brother?
2.
Including me and my brother, 5.
Oh, 3 other people. Yeah. Oh, you had friends. It's not that
I
bad.
went to see 2010 and the cinema was packed and it was a huge screen.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that film from start to finish.
Me
right?
too.
And I don't care what anyone says to me, right? Yeah, 2001 is the best sci-fi film ever made.
Oh, no.
Let me tell you something. It was freaking boring, right? Effects were good. Sound was good.
2001 tops my list of most overrated movies ever. 2001 is a snore fest.
I will say yes. The monkey scene at the beginning, while maybe looking pretty, I'm like, no. Now, the psycho robot, that's awesome, but the rest of it, no.
I actually think 2010 is one of Roy Scheider's best movies.
Yeah, absolutely. You cared about the characters. You cared about the Russians. You cared what they were doing. You wanted to know what the monolith was trying to say to humanity. And that there's that one creepy scene where what's his name? Roy Schneider's in the chair and he turns slowly.
Oh, yes.
See that thing, and you're like, what the hell?
Yes. Please, Arrow. I'm waiting for. I think they will. They did Outland, and so right when it came out, whoever was responsible for doing Outland said they're working on 2010. So I think that's going to be
this. It's got to happen, and we'll be covering it here on Physical Media Nights, just as we're covering the plight of one goat, or is it two goats in particular? I noticed you've changed your icon, Chris, and that usually means only one thing. Is there an update?
Hello, everyone. So we have an update on our friend Frank. So last time we met up with Frank, he was hiding from Satan because, as you know, Frank's done many bad things, but it was reported that Frank was secretly behind Starfleet Academy, and Satan was tricked into watching it, and Satan was not impressed by this. Now, he now uses Starfleet Academy as a torture device in hell, which is the only thing it's really good for, but that doesn't change the fact that Satan watched Starfleet Academy and found out that Frank was behind it. And we know that Frank has done many bad things lately. So last time we caught up with Frank, he was running from Satan. So he has temporarily gotten away from Satan, and he's got his little hoodie there, and he's hiding and hoping he can get away from Satan. But the good thing is, while Satan is chasing Frank, the end of the world, which was supposed to happen at the end of last year, did not happen. So I guess we have Frank to thank for the fact that we're all not dead, but it's Frank, and he's done terrible things. So right now, Frank is on the run from Satan. So we will find out. But yeah, he's hiding. He's got his hoodie on, so he's trying to blend in, and he doesn't stick out at all.
Excellent news. I think maybe it's good news for him. Probably not so good for the rest of us, Ian. Not so good for the rest of us. What's going on with you nowadays, Ian? Because obviously Rebecca Gold 2 is out there. You're regularly taking us to behind the scenes information there. On your social medias, aren't you? So tell us some more about that for the people who haven't seen it.
Okay, so basically I can't release it until, because it's been put into festivals, so I'm waiting for the results from the festivals before I actually get it out there. But the question is, how do I get it out there? Because I'm not going to give it to a distributor, because I will not see a penny. Why would I do that? It's like flushing money down the toilet. It's no point in doing that. So I'm waiting for the festival, and then I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do after that. People that have given me money for the film have already seen it, which is good, and the consensus is that they like the film. I'm probably going to try and make another one, but I can't do it without the help of the people that supported it in the first place. But that's another story for another day. But I'm waiting for the festivals now. And if they get into the festivals in England, then obviously if you haven't seen it, you can come to the festival and see it and support it. But that's where I am at the moment. I have a few scripts that I've written that I'm trying to get funding. But you know what that's like. So fingers crossed that it gets into a few festivals and I can go from there. That's what's happening. There you go.
Man. Keep on keeping on, as they say. And people can find you on social media with that, can't they? And all things sort of Rebecca Gold, lots of snippets of the action and how you made it and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, so
it's just
good to have you back on the show.
Yeah, it's just blogs I'm doing now just to get people still interested in it. I'm going to do, after it's released, I'm going to do a full blog and a full video on how I made it and what means everything in each scene and stuff like that. Because a lot of people don't really know what direction is or how to portray something on screen. They think they do, but they don't. I'm old school. Let me tell you something. I do know. And if you watch the film, you probably didn't see certain things, and I'll show you why you like that scene, because it will register in your head, because I did certain things to that frame. But anyway, I shall stop there. Sorry, carry on.
So we've heard from the rabbi, we've heard from Ian. Let's hear from Chris. What have you got going on at the moment, Chris? So you're still working on an opus, did you say, on an autopsy of Starfleet Academy, the highly successful talked about Star Trek show from earlier this year?
Well, yes, I am working on my next video, on my current series of videos, which I've called "Shut Up," where I have discussions with people who have said stupid things. So this is going to be another in that. So I am going to have a discussion with Robert Picardo about the things he said last month, things that I am not entirely in agreement with, and I may have a thing or two to say. And we're going to celebrate the death of Star Trek. It's going to be a fun time. Originally, I was going to have it out today, but I got distracted, so that didn't happen. It might be out tomorrow, unless I get distracted, and that doesn't happen. It will be out at some point, maybe tomorrow. Now, there may be yelling. I can't guarantee it, but I might yell. And I may not be entirely happy with Robert Picardo's conduct recently. And I'm going to instruct him in ways that he can improve himself and not be a complete douchebag. That's all. So next, maybe tomorrow or sometime soon.
Excellent stuff. Gary, thanks again for coming on, for braving the arena yet again. I hope you've come away a little wiser, or maybe not. Or your wallet may be lighter come July, but we do our best. We struggle on. Yeah. There'll be another show and tell edition of this show soon. Lots more ideas, lots more things coming at us from the various boutique labels, and some of the more high-profile releases as well. We're going to cover as much of it as we can here on various physical media nights, or afternoons, or mornings. It doesn't really matter what time of day you watch it. It's always nighttime. Really, I think the mood is always nighttime here on these streams. Thanks again to the rabbi from another planet. If you don't know where to find him by now, you never will, but you can check out his live streams practically daily and go and follow him on social media as well for the most incredible, eye-watering thumbnails you've ever seen. So go and get that. Instagram, X, Facebook, you name it. He's all over it. Like a rash, but probably right about now, he's probably Googling the Pornhub and various aspects of
the Jewish one.
Yeah. So this has been another physical media night. I've been Dan Hadley, Birmingham's King of the Geeks. Catch me all over on the socials as the Spacebook, where I'm rambling on about all manner of things. It's been a hell of a week. I need to go and check out and watch something nice and cheer myself up, because of various stuff that's been kicking off. But I've got plenty of choice. That's the good news, and I'll be sharing some more of that when next we meet. We'll catch up on some of the things that I've been rooting around in boxes for at farmers' fields at 7 o'clock in the morning, Ian. That's more often than not where I can be found looking for physical media bargains and such. So if you want more of that, you know where to find us. But don't waste any more of your screen time listening to all of this nonsense. Get out there and fill your boots, chill your rockets, and we'll see you on the next physical media night. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
Bye-bye.